Hello. I am Alicia Richard, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the ultimate place where I talk about locks and life. So if this is anything that you are interested in as far as the topics, then make sure that you subscribe and also watch this video all the way to the end. So today, y'all, I'm going to be sharing why I chose to get Sisterlocks. Okay, so if you already have Sisterlocks, then hey, leave a comment below and let all the girlies in YouTube land know that this is the best choice, right? However, if you are kind of just on the fence about whether you should get Sisterlocks or micro locks or even tiny locks, this YouTube video is totally for you. All right, so I am going to talk about my life with natural hair. So of course, just like everybody else, I grew up, I had two other sisters, and my mom always used to like straighten our hair and all of that, right? So what happened? I was always the sister that had like the nappiest hair, and I say that in the kindest way. So my hair texture is very, very coarse. If I could put like a number on my hair type, it would be like a 4B or a 4C DEFG, if that was a thing. Like very, very coarse, very, very hard to comb through. So as a child, like I always used to be like, mama, I don't want it, right? So of course I got a perm. When I was like in elementary school or closer to middle school, I got a perm, and my mom always used to let us go to the local cosmetologist like every 6 weeks or something like that when we needed a perm. So that was our routine. Like we did go to the hairdresser. Her name was Charlene, God bless her soul. But we did used to go to the hairdresser like on a consistent, let me just slide over. So we did used to go to the hairstylist on a consistent basis. So like every 6 weeks was my thing, right? And of course, like I started to learn how to do my own hair. So in high school, I would always like braid my hair, and I would try like different types of hairstyles because I was always the person that liked to do my hair, like the DIY type stuff. So fast forward to, getting into college, doing all the perms and all of that. And then that's when like this natural hair thing came about. So I would say at least about like 2006, 2007, somewhere up in there, I decided that, hey, I'm just going to do a big chop. And I decided to do a big chop to my hair. I will never forget. I was trying to like transition to like the natural hair thing, but I think like it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted to. So when I was like unloosing, like I think they like the 2-strand double twist type thing, when I was loosing out the twist, what actually happened was I think like the demarcation thing or something like that. I don't know. But I had like a lot of new growth, and then I also had like a lot of permed hair on the ends. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and cut my hair. So I ended up cutting all of my hair off, and I legit had like a boy cut. No offense to anybody, but I had like, like a very short, natural, like I really went to the barber and let him cut my hair. And during that time, I got like so many compliments. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You're so beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank you. Right. So then after that happened, I was like natural for like 8 years. I have tried like every single natural hairstyle. I've tried 2-strand twists. I did a lot of like the crochet braids. I did a lot of box braids. I've done so many different styles. And a lot of times I used to do my own hair while I was looking at YouTube videos, right? So I was natural for about 8 years. 8 years I was on this journey of just natural hair. So I embraced it, right? However, living in South Carolina, like the humid is crazy. The humidity, oh my gosh, right? So I would take like so much time twisting my hair. And then by the time like I would be outside for a couple of hours, like my hair would legit look like an afro. And I would be like, sweet Jesus, like I did all of this time and my hair looks like this. So I would get so frustrated like over and over and over again. I would again style my hair again, and I would get the same results. Go outside and it just would look like a total afro by the time I was done. So during that time, I already had my first son, but I was getting like my second son. Not like getting like my second son, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I got pregnant and I had my second son. And around this time, I was turning about like 30 years old, right? So I said, you know what? I want to do something for my 30th birthday. So that's when I started to like look on YouTube. But at that time, there was not a lot of information about sister locks or just like locks or how to get locks or what to do and all of that, right? So I started to kind of just tiptoe in just a little bit. Now I am going on 38 years old. So that was like 8 years ago. However, before I made the transition, I was like researching some things, right? About, the girlies who were on YouTube at the time talking about sister locks. So I would do all of my research. I would go on YouTube. I would see what people had to say. I did all kinds of research about traditional locks, tiny locks, micro locks, 2-strand locks, braided locks, like all types of different locks because I wanted to see what options were out there. So when I was looking at the price, I was like, okay, and during that time, the prices were not back then what they are now when it comes to getting an installation, right? So I legit kind of just stalled for the longest time. I would honestly say that I was thinking about getting sister locks for like a year and a half or 2 years. And when I would tell people like, I'm thinking about locks, they would be like, girl, you know how much something costs? Or are you sure you want to make that decision? I got so many things like, like if I would say things, it would be like, well, yeah, you could get locks, but I like to change my hair up so much. So that's not a style for me, right? However, at the time, I had a 6-year-old son and then I had a new baby and I was a busy mom. Like being a busy mom, I didn't have time to stay in the mirror and do my hair all these hours at a time. So I was like, what is the best style for a busy lifestyle, like a person that is really, really busy, right? During that time, I was a photographer full time. I had my husband, my children, like my baby was like 2 years old or something like that. And we was really like, life was busy and it still is. But I wanted something that was convenient. I was looking for something that was easy to manage. And then my hair texture isn't the best hair texture for loose hair. However, my hair texture is the best for locks. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. So I done all of my research and I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this natural hair, right? I got to the point where I'm just tired. I'm tired of this hair. Like I really got tired. I got tired of going to the weave stores. I got tired of the crochet styles. I got tired of really like all of the gels and I used to wanted to like do my hair in creative styles, but my hair texture would just not let me do it, right? So I got to a place where I got so frustrated. I was like, you know what? I have to make a decision about my hair, right? So then I started looking up like all of the locticians that were in the area because during that time I changed locations and I started to do my research. When I done my research, I went on the Sisterlocks website. And of course, when you go on the Sisterlocks website, it tells you like where are the locticians, their level of experience, like trainee or certified Sisterlock consultant, like all of those things. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, well, what if I decided to do tiny locks, right? So that was kind of like going down I don't know. That was a roller coaster ride because then there was no specific place for me to say, hey, I need a loctician. Where can I go? Right? There was no directory for me, or at least that time. So I was like, well, Sisterlocks, I like the system that Sisterlocks has. Not only is it like a brand, but I also chose Sisterlocks because I thought about my personality. I thought about my style. I thought about the way that I would like my hair. And I felt like Sisterlocks was appropriate for me because they're small enough where they could really look like natural hair, which they are natural hair. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like they're small enough. So I didn't want to do the traditional locks because I was like, well, there's nothing wrong with traditional locks. But at the time I was like, no, I don't think that's for me. I don't think I'm that type of person. I don't give off that traditional girly like lock style. So I was like, I think I'm going to do Sisterlocks. So I started doing my research. I called up a few people and I could tell if someone is confident in their work by what they say, right? So when I chose my loctician, I was also looking for someone, and again, that specialized in color, right? I wanted someone that was able to tell me and direct me. Now, I have had different locticians, but at that time I was interested in color, maybe if I should color my hair, should not color my hair, whatever. So anyway, so I liked that the loctician that I chose, I really loved that she was a cosmetologist, and I also love that she also had locks herself and she was very experienced. So other people that I called, they didn't sound too confident in if they, it just was a level of confidence, them responding and all of those sorts of things. So when I finally chose my loctician, I chose her. It actually took me 2 days because I got up and I started at 5 o'clock in the morning the first day, and I think we ended from like 5 to 5, and then after that I did the second day, and that was like 5 to 5 too. So it was about 20 hours when she done my hair. So I would honestly say, like, when I went to her, I got I brought my books, and that was really a good bonding time for me and my loctician. Like, I really liked that we were able to really just have these conversations in terms of locks. During that time, she got to tell me about her lock process, what made her get Sisterlocks. That was really like a bonding time, right? So I really, really enjoyed her as my loctician, and I even love the lady that I have now because I had 2 locticians thus far to do my hair. So with that being said, I chose Sisterlocks, and once I made that decision, y'all, that was the best decision I've made in my whole entire life. Seriously, and I'm not just saying it just to see. Getting locks has been the best decision that I've made. And I am so serious. So if you are thinking about tiny locks, Sisterlocks, micro locks, braided locks, that's your decision. But I know for me, once I got my locks, it freed up time for me. As a busy mom, having so many different responsibilities, it really made life so much easier that during that time, not only was I able to manage being a wife, being a mom, and working, being a full-time entrepreneur, but I was also able to get in shape. I used to have extra time to do things with my children. I had more prayer time. Like, it was just so many things that I was able to gain once I got my locks. And not only that, but it also gave me a great sense of confidence. Like, oh my gosh, your girl was so confident, right? Because that feeling of actually being able to stand and say that everything about me is real. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have that confidence as a Black woman, like, every single thing about me is real. My hair, my nails, my eyelashes, my butt, like, no offense to anybody, but I'm just saying, to be able to stand in this power, right? I felt like I had my power back. I felt like I gained control back over my life. And that was one of the biggest things that I realized, because I did not realize the mental capacity that it took for me to do my hair. I didn't realize it, right? I didn't realize all the energy that I was using to look through Pinterest or go to the weave store to find the weaves and braid the weaves and all of that. I didn't realize how mentally taxing that was on my brain. So because I had to process so much just with my hair, I felt exhausted. I felt drained. I felt like I was just worn out, right? But when I got my locks, it was almost like, y'all know how y'all used to hear the people testify in church. I know this ain't the same, but it feels like it's the same. It was almost like, but when I found Jesus, oh, what a change, right? It's almost like when I found the Lord, like, and I know that the same thing, but it felt like deliverance. It felt like freedom. And it still is freedom. You know what I'm saying? I felt joy when I began to experience a different life. And I'm not saying that just to say, oh my gosh, you should go and get Sisterlocks next week. No, like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my experience of what I've experienced and changing just this one thing about myself and how much I feel. It's like that song that Mary J. Blige says, like, I feel like a woman. I don't want to compete. I just want to be the only girl that you need. Not that part, but I feel like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a woman. I feel like a woman. Like, it really made me, it feels like a woman. It's like I feel like a woman. Yeah, like that. I think that's like a Celine Dion song or something like that too, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is having this experience has really changed my life. Although I've had so many hurdles when it comes to my Sisterlocks journey, right? I know one of the things that I deeply, deeply regret is getting color in my hair, and I'll talk about that later. But other than that, this has been the best experience that I've ever had, besides having my children or being married or, you know, graduating from college and having my family and all of that. But this is really like such a level of freedom, of liberty. And it's also like a thing of not conforming to society norms, not conforming to what they think I should look like. And they as in certain people, or, you know, like, I don't know, but it just not conforming, right? Saying that this is who I am. I appreciate who I am. I appreciate my hair, right? Because there's something about wearing your own hair when you could say, this is all mine. This is mine. And even if you decide to get lock extensions, that's your business, not mine. But you have a sense of pride that this is something that you've been able to accomplish. You've been able to knock down the barriers, right? And really say that I am going to embrace me for who I am. And getting these locks have really just changed my perspective on just hair, my perspective on life. Even it changed, not to say from having a busy lifestyle, but when I say like the mental capacity for hair, right? Of course, now that I have my hair done, like something else fills the spot now. So it makes room to worry about something else, right? But anyway, I want to say that if you are on the fence about getting Sisterlocks, I would highly suggest for you to do your research, talk to some locticians in the area to see what their availability is, to schedule a consultation, get your test locks or whatever that may look like for you. But see which style you would prefer, rather tiny locks, braided locks, twisted locks, micro locks. There's so many different types of locks out there, or even lock extensions. You know, that's up to you. But really look into this thing. Do I think that it's a trend? No. I don't think. I think it's a lifestyle change. You really have to be mature in order to make this decision. And being able to say, no, you know what? I can style my hair the way I want to. There's versatility in locks. You know, even though you're not adding weave, but you could still style your hair appropriately and still enjoy it. So don't let nobody tell you, no, don't do that. Girl, don't do it. Don't let anybody deter you from your decision. If it's something that you want to do, and if you have the money available to do it, then go ahead and invest in yourself. Because honestly, that is what you're doing. You are investing in yourself. Investing in your hair is investing in yourself. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and also share this video with someone who you think that could benefit from the conversation of locks. I am Alisha Richard. Thank you so much for viewing my channel, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.